This is something new to me, maybe something new to you, but really it's old and it's vintage lenses. Old camera lenses from older cameras. So this is probably gonna be a start of a series that I'm gonna do with old vintage lenses. And it just started off like this. So one day I went to the camera store and guy was talking to me. He took me over to the Leica section and just showed me what this camera could do. I had never heard about the Leica camera, but definitely, I want to learn new things. And the camera was amazing. And he showed me some of the different lens setups that they had. Well, me not knowing, he gave me some information showing me about actually the adapters that can adapt these to my Sony camera. Me having the A7S Mark II, I never looked into really doing a lot of photography with it, but there was a few people that told me that it could be, you can use it for it. So I definitely been giving it more of a swing. So I decided to actually purchase one of these Leica lenses and do a little test shooting with it. So I took it out, I did a couple photos, I did a couple videos, and I just put it through a little soft test. I didn't get to do a full review testing out the bokeh, the night shots. I mainly did day shooting because this was the style that I was looking for to capture the vintage look on. So when I went in, my mindset was on getting a vintage lens after he told me this, and it was that I wanted to have that olden style, that characteristic that the lens gets you, that artifacting, little grudginess, just not super digital clean look as we're used to getting. And this lens definitely showed me some characteristics that I wasn't used to. For the first part, this lens, the way that it smudges, I would say, in my terms, not sure the right terms, but how it smudges the light, highlights. It gives this characteristic of a different look of it, and it gives it more of that vintage look. Also, the style of the lens itself, it's very compact. It has a full metal jacket body, even the cap is metal, so it's a very durable lens, and the glass is very clean. So I took it out, I put it on the crane, did a couple shots, and just seeing what I could get. I did a lot of backlit stuff, letting light leak into the lens. Most of my shots were shot wide open at 2.8, I think it is, maybe 2.0, but as wide open as I could get. And I just really wanted to see how does this work with daylight, flares, and even took it out around golden hour. It was a very short test. I had 5 days with the lens, and then I took it back, because it definitely was a little more than the price I wanted to pay for a vintage lens. But I'm definitely going to order a couple more and buy a couple more vintage lenses and give them a shot. But on a lower pay level, it's just at this time it was impulsive buy, like I really wanted a vintage lens. So I'm going to try to tell y'all a couple pros that I have about the lens and a couple cons that I have. The pro for this lens is the full metal body. This lens is super durable. It's all metal, like I say, from the cap to the focus rings. Like, it's no rubber on this lens. This is made to last. So me being a filmmaker that like to buy stuff that's meant to last, this would be a definitely lens like that you can put through whatever. Another pro would be the size. So this lens on my camera body maybe was wide as 4 cell phones. Not very wide at all. It's almost as wide as a Sony with a metal bone or a photo deox or a Sigma adapter on it. just without the lens. So it's very compact. This could be almost a point and shoot size setup with this lens, and it's definitely very versatile when you come to that, giving that mirrorless, that small body, and giving you an option that you can throw in a bag, pull out, snap some quick shots, and keep moving. So I definitely liked it for the size. The other pro is the focal ring. You really have a good focal ring on there. There's a little handle on the focus ring that you can actually move and make sure you're getting the actual ring moving on the focal ring, and then you go back to your aperture ring and it actually clicks with every stop. This is a fully manual lens, so you're definitely going to be pulling focus on your own. There's no type of mechanical settings you can do. This lens is definitely fully manual, but it's definitely a great lens. And of course, the cons. Well, one of the biggest cons for me is that this lens would definitely not be a lens that I would use right off. There is some ways to fix this con that I'm about to say, but you definitely have to be at least 3 feet away to even focus. There is adapters out there as far as macro extension tubes that could get your focal length back. I just didn't have the time, being on that 5-day time span. I didn't have the time to actually get those tubes, and that would probably help me, but I had to keep everything at least 2 to 3 feet away so I could get it in focus. But when I did, it definitely worked fine. I love the look of it. Another con would be the size. Could be a pro and a con. I did set that's a pro, but it's also a con because trying to catch focus on it, sometimes I would forget, and maybe it's just not having enough time with it. Sometimes I will forget and actually be moving the aperture ring instead of the focus ring. So that's definitely can be a con, but that often happens a lot with manual lenses for some people until you get more comfortable with it. I have that problem with a lot of cinema lenses and manual lenses that I use. And another con would be that this lens costs $600. $600. Now, like I say, build quality, worth. Glass, worth. But this lens is not new. So me paying $600 and keeping it would have been very hard. I almost kept the lens because I really like how it shoots, but I haven't did enough tests with vintage lens, like I say, what I would be working on more of. Because I really want to know if this is just because it was my first impression I love the look, but I definitely have to try more out. I may end up going back out and searching for this lens again, but it definitely gave me a different look that I was looking for. Well, like I say, that's a couple of my pros, cons. This lens is definitely sharp. It's definitely a good lens you can go with. I hope to get another chance and some more time in the future to working with this lens after I go through my course of checking different lenses. But it's definitely a lens you should look into. I wouldn't say purchase it, but if you can get your hands on it and try it out, I would definitely do it. By the way, I used the, I think it's the LM, which is Leica M mount by Photodiox to adapt this lens to my Sony A7S Mark II. So if you're looking for this setup, that's definitely how you can do it. I definitely leave description down low. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe and leave me a comment below if there's any other lenses that you would like to see me try out, because I'm going to try to get a couple more lenses and put them to the test on my Sony and maybe even my Canon, just to see what we can get out of them. But definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and get ready for some more videos coming up. And thank you guys for watching. See y'all later.